Hi, my name's Lloyd, I'm 46, and in 2001 I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So my story started in January 2001, just 3 months after myself and my wife Karen got married. Out of nowhere, I have to say, my symptoms just literally hit me with no warning, but found myself in a situation where I had uncontrollable diarrhea and a lot of blood loss. Which, to be truthful with you, without any prior warning, terrified the life out of me. I had no idea what was going on. I was completely and utterly void of any knowledge of IBD or what it was. And I made an appointment to go and see a specialist privately that evening to try and find out what was going on. Anyway, fast forward to that evening, I went and saw the most incredible surgeon, a guy by the name of Stephen Snooks, who I went on to have a very long and enjoyable professional relationship with thereafter, because he was there every step of the way for the next 17 or 18 years. Anyway, he quickly got to the point that I was suffering with IBD of some sort, but didn't know whether or not it was colitis or Crohn's. Anyway, on to a course of steroids. 3 weeks later, I found myself in hospital for a month, losing a lot of weight, and with the hospital struggling to get my symptoms under control. Colonoscopy and some further tests later confirmed that I was suffering with ulcerative colitis, and 15 months later that resulted in me again being hospitalised for a 6-week period and losing 3 stone in a very, very quick period. So I woke up one morning and I remember it vividly. 2002, this was now, the World Cup was on in Japan and South Korea, and I woke up in the morning to both my surgeon and my medic standing at the foot of my bed saying, "Lloyd, we need to speak to you." It sounded ominous and again put the proverbial wind straight up me. But they said to me, "Look, we've spoken about surgery many times and you've always put your hands over your ears because you don't want to hear it. But we're at that point now, whereas if you don't have corrective surgery, you're not going to live beyond 2 weeks from now." And to hear something like that come out of the mouth of a surgeon is pretty terrifying. So I asked them when they had in mind, and they said that day. So 5 hours later, I was minus a colon, but also minus the debilitating disease that had absolutely dragged me down for a year and a half. On to recovery. It took a long time to get used to what was happening and the changes that I had to make. I was 27 years old at the time as well, so newly married, newly redundant. I'd lost my father 6 months beforehand, and there is a school of thought that says stress can contribute to a flare. They could be right, I don't know. But I was on to a period of my life now where I was having to manage a stoma, albeit a reversible ileostomy, but I did nonetheless have 18 months of having to adapt. And I have to say, if it wasn't for my amazing wife of 20 years now, then I'm not sure I would have got through it. But you know, I did, and 18 months later I had my J pouch created, my ileostomy reversed, and all was good. You know, I had to make some changes and adapted and get through it, but get through it alone, just me and Karen. There was no real knowledge available to me, or certainly no knowledge that anybody made me aware of, no experiences that I could call on and draw on from other people. It was a very taboo subject. I mean, who wants to talk about poo and bowel movements and diarrhea and God knows what else? But I found a way, and as I say, if it wasn't for Karen and for Stephen Snooks and my incredible stoma nurses Lisa and Chris, then I really would have struggled. But anyway, fast forward 10 years, all was good, and then the dreaded scar tissue kicked in, caused a complete bowel obstruction, and Mr. Snooks had to open me up once again and clear the path for poo transport. So I had that done, got myself back to normal again in 2012, and once again all was good until 19 when I started developing abdominal pains, bloated, felt sick every time I ate. Knew something was wrong, but in typical me fashion, and excuse the pun, but I stuck my head up my backside and thought if I ignored it for long enough it would go away, but deep down knowing that wasn't going to be the case. So I went back to my hospital only to be told by my surgeon that he's actually retiring, which was devastating news for me. He'd been a massive security blanket for me all the way through my IBD life. However, I was handed over to someone else, and let's just say our journey within that trust came to an end. I asked for a referral to St Mark's, where I was taken under the care of another unbelievably incredibly good surgeon called Janindra Warusavatani. I think I've said that right. And Janindra, if you're hearing this, I apologise for making a pig's ear of your name, but nonetheless I think you know by now what I think of you. You did an amazing job for me. But anyway, I'm on ileostomy number 2, and although I've been told that there is a chance we can reverse it once again, this time unfortunately my diagnosis was Crohn's. So how's your luck? UC cleared, and now Crohn's. But hey, listen, he could deal with it, and he did deal with it. And I'm now on my second ileostomy, and my decision actually is probably to keep it permanently now. I still have my J pouch in situ, but obviously because of the stoma, my J pouch is now has been disconnected, but still remains there, just in case I do decide to reverse once again. But I'm enjoying having my life back. And since having this surgery, I found an incredible network of people within a Facebook group of all places called IBDSuperHeroes. And I would encourage anybody that is suffering with any IBD related complaint or any symptoms, or if you've already been diagnosed and you need a little bit of kind of comfort inside experiences, or someone to have a chat with that understands what you're going through, then I would most definitely recommend looking at social channels. And IBDSuperHeroes group's been great, subtle support, and it's been amazing. But the only thing I can really leave anybody with at the end of this conversation is really, if you've got any symptoms, don't ignore it, number one. Number two, IBD is so much more prevalent than you may think, and just because you don't hear conversation about it too regularly doesn't mean that people aren't suffering. I don't know what the exact stats are and figures are, but everyone I know seems to know somebody that's got Crohn's or colitis or something, and it seems that more and more people are sharing information that they have an ostomy or know somebody that has an ostomy. So I think it's definitely helped me to voice what's going on in my life, and I've made myself readily available to numerous people over the last 20 years to offer experience and support that I didn't necessarily have first time round. So make yourself available, but also listen to those that are offering to help you. Don't ignore your symptoms, because it can turn into something unmanageable if left too long, and we wouldn't want that, would we? So look, thanks for listening. Perhaps I've bored you, perhaps I've enlightened you, perhaps I've just killed 8 or 9 minutes of your time over a morning coffee. But everyone, keep well, look after yourself, stay safe, and don't ignore any symptoms if you have them.